is my kid. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Political Vigilante. My name is Graham Elwood. You are watching. We are streaming live at just before 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 o'clock on the East Coast. Probably 7 in the morning somewhere in Europe or the Middle East. Huh? 5 o'clock in Tahiti. I know it's starting late for the East Coasters. What's up? It's Thanksgiving week, everybody. We've got some segments planned. Welcome to the show. If you're coming over from the Jimmy Dore Show, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button, folks. We have been getting unsubscribed at an alarming rate. We were almost at 74,000 subscribers, and then we've dropped to below 73,000. We dropped close to 72,000, and we've kind of come back up a little bit because we've had some videos that have do well. But 2 p.m. on the East Coast of Australia, right on. Good day. 4 o'clock in the Netherlands. Woke up early. Hello. What's up, everybody? Better late than the thing. Absolutely. Good to have you here. Also streaming on Rockfin. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on Rockfin and on the YouTube. My YouTube channel is Facebook. Also on Facebook. Obviously, we're on YouTube. On Facebook. Hit the like button. Russia is interfering with subscriptions. So, Graham, some broad told me to get a life. So, in response to her, I've decided to join you for your Thanksgiving live stream. Yeah, I'll go live tomorrow as well, which is Wednesday. And then Thursday, I'm going to go live. I'll do a Thanksgiving night. I might cook. I don't know. I'm not really that good of a cook. If I do, it'd probably be like Indian food or something like that. Just watch me like make rice and then take some sort of pre-made Indian dal and heat it up. I don't know. Maybe Granny Petrol will make us some coal cakes. What's up, Cat B? What's up? Vegan style? Absolutely. Hello, Hateswood, David Lang, Victoria B. God bless YouTube. Is absolutely. It's 9 o'clock in the Central Time Zone. Graham, you have lost 100 subscribers. Yeah. We were at 72,000 like 200 or 300 like a day or two ago, and then it's jumped back up to 72,800. But I literally have lost 1,000 subscribers in the last like 3 weeks. We were at 73,600 or 700. Like we were very close to getting up to 74,000. And then they've been taking us down. Now we've had a lot of videos that have done well, but it's the term I want to use is bullshit. Great way to support the show is doing what Louise Brooks is doing. Louise, shave your knuckles for justice. Hit that little dollar icon if you are in YouTube. Also, if you want to support the show a different way, and you want me to answer your question, you can go to Venmo. My Venmo is at Graham Elwood, and I will answer your question to the best of my ability. I hope everybody had fun at the comedy show we did Saturday. It was super fun, man. Was just hearing people laugh it's really helpful for me to not go crazy. But something I do want to announce. So this just came in the mail. Oh, snap. My Shure SM7B. Legendary vocal microphone. I ordered this in July. Not joking. The beginning of the summer, I was like, I need to get a new microphone. I was having all these sound issues. This microphone's been fine. I have another backup like this. This is an SM58 or whatever. It's sort of your standard workhorse microphone. Works fine. But I was like, I really want this good one, right? This is the good mic. And I go to some local stores by me because I try to support local businesses, and they didn't have it. So then I was like, all right, I'll go to Guitar Center. I know it's a big chain, but they have good customer service there, and the people there know what they're doing. Okay, fine. They didn't have it in the store. It was all sold out. Since the pandemic, many of you are probably aware of this. Everyone and their brother is working from home, live streaming, teaching, coaching, whatever, so all of this online streaming equipment, it is all back ordered. So I ordered that in July. They said, man, it's back ordered, probably take about 2 or 3 weeks. So a month goes by. I'm in August. I'm like, where is it? They're like, it's been back ordered, but a new shipment's coming in. You'll get it at the end of August. I was finally talking to this guy last week, and he's like, yeah, there's 1,000 back orders. I go, I ordered this in July, dude. He's like, there's a store that has it in LA, and it was like too far. I was like, no way, I can't. He goes, but it's out of the box. I go, can you have them ship me that open box? Meaning somebody bought it and then returned it. And he goes, yes. I said, put that in the mail right now. And it showed up. So here we are, folks. I haven't had time to set it up today because I was prepping. I was preparing for the show. And a friend of mine, him and his wife just moved, and they had all these canned food that they were like, do you want this? And I was like, I'll take a little bit of it, but I'm looking for a food bank to donate to. There's a church by me that does a soup kitchen thing. So I was looking at that, and I went to my little local kind of hippie, independently owned market. And so that's what I was doing. And I came back and was just watching Jimmy's show and preparing for this. But we're going to have an even fancier microphone. This mic's been so good. We're so welcome and grateful for this mic. We're so welcome. Having trouble with words. I don't talk for a living, guys. You don't expect a lot from me. Louise Brooks, finally starting my new job on Monday. So happy Thanksgiving. Oh, Louise, I'm glad you got a new job. Awesome. Thank you for supporting the show. Congrats on the gig. I know finding jobs out there is tough for a lot of people, so I'm always happy when somebody finds a good job. Always, always happy. Can we do another Zoom hangout? Maybe. Biden's picks are beyond awful. A big tech warmonger, a guy who was involved in jacking up insulin prices, an asbestos lobbyist, and a woman who was involved in Obama's immigration. Disgusting policies. Oh, she was also the drone queen. Don't forget that.
Stop being critical of Biden. Just relax. Just hold on. Wait till he gets sworn in. Then we'll hold his feet to the fire.
And then, of course, we'll start doing that in No, you have to do it now. He's releasing by design. This is who his cabinet picks are. This is where we have this is actually the best time to pressure Joe Biden. I don't think he will. He doesn't give a shit. He works for the warmonger corporatists. He's a piece of shit, just like Donald Trump, just like both of those maggot-ridden political parties. But like all the liberals online are like, hey, and let's be real clear. Liberals are the single greatest barrier to us actual lefty, progressive, socialists, whatever you want to call yourself, getting real things done. The liberals get in our way. There's actually not enough hardline conservatives to block our what we want. It's the liberals who refuse, who get mad at us for holding the Democratic Party accountable. They're the problem. Not excusing any of the awful stuff that Republicans or conservatives have done, but they're easily defeatable when you have progressive populist policy. 72% of Fox News viewers, when answering a survey question that's a loaded question, do you want government-run healthcare, which is not what Medicare for All is. So even that is a loaded bullshit question. 72% in a Fox exit poll said yes to that bullshit question. Yes, you better pick better. We should absolutely be, and I'll give a little credit to AOC. She's been calling out some of these picks. She still acquiesced too much to the mama bear corporate Democrats, in my opinion. And you cannot reform the Democratic Party from within. Okay, she's doing a couple of tweets. Great. She still voted for the CARES Act. But now is absolutely the time to say, and because this is what incoming presidents do. They float stuff out in the media to see how it's like, let's see what the response to this person is. I mean, all these people are going to get confirmed, which is what the dumb liberals will say. Hey, we needed candidates. At least a Republican Senate won't confirm them. Oh, God. You fight and stand for nothing. Corporate Democrats, you fight and stand for nothing. Centrist, vote any blue will do liberals that are afraid to fight for anything. You have no stones. You got no spine. You got no courage. You got nothing. You have no nothing. You have no nothing. Now's not the time. Yeah, no. We might put this person in the cabinet. Awful idea. Better get a real progressive in there. So dumb. So dumb. Why are they so dumb? People are right to be upset for AOC, but I still have faith in her and Omar. Well, I hope you're right. Folks, we have 248 viewers, 125 likes. Let's get the likes up there, everybody. Let's get the likes up there. J9 Campbell, thanks for watching on the Rockfin. Boo 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 boo. Sorry, I'm just tweeting out. Make sure you guys tweet this out on your social media to get people to join our online disco dance party. Not really. Not really at all. 158 likes, guys. Let's get them up to 300. Come on. Or 200. Let's start there. I'm suffering. I'm sorry that you are, Austin. Howdy from the Bay Area of California. What's up? Austin Zappas. I'm sorry you're suffering. I'm good. I hope you're doing all right. Hello, Sam Dean. Guitar Channel is a franchise, not small business. Yeah, I know. Did you not listen to what I said? I tried to go to small businesses and I couldn't. They didn't have it, so I had to go to Guitar Center, which is a big chain. Remember when I said that? You didn't listen. So when you got to listen, if you don't listen, then don't be dumb. Drives me nuts. Got to listen. I hate being accused of something that I didn't say because you didn't listen. Doesn't mean I said something wrong. It says you didn't listen. Yeah, Guitar Center is not, it's a big corporate chain. It's not a small business.
Graham, Guitar Center is not a small business.
Oh, wow. The thing that I said. Outstanding. You came in late, Graham. Thank you so much. So then don't post. Maybe you weren't sure. That's why you gotta do. Coming in late is not an excuse. You just jumped to a conclusion. You should have listened more. Ask in the chat. Did Graham mention that Guitar Center is that's a chain? Did he try to go to a small business? You didn't do that in the chat. You just came in pointing the finger. I came in late. That's still not you can't, you see what I'm saying? Don't gaslight me. You can't admit you're wrong. You got blocked. There you go. Done. Don't gaslight you. You just said, all you had to do was say, I'm sorry, my bad. Sorry, I came in late. I shouldn't have done that. My fault. That's all you had to do. You keep arguing, out. Might be a block party tonight, folks. And then, of course, then it's always Graham's got a short fuse, the hot temper. The hot temper thing is always the excuse by the person that refuses to admit that they're wrong. Rather than going, hey, I'm sorry. Because I'm sorry diffuses any like argument problem. My bad. I'm sorry. Which was not said. Right? Oh, hot temper, short fuse. It's always, wow. They never take responsibility for their behavior. That's what that comes from. Rather than just going, man, I screwed up. Sorry, my bad. We can move on. See? Kept saying it. Didn't apologize. It's the same pattern all the time. It's the same pattern all the time. That idiot Sparky that I had to block last week. Same thing. Kept saying the same thing. Wouldn't let it go. And then some fuckhead in Rockfin said something stupid. A lot of morons. Sam Dean, what's up, Sam? Shave your knuckles for Dustis. Good day, mate. Victorian government invests $5.3 billion into saving small businesses. See, it can be done. Not saving the bank, saving the people. Bang. What a great point. And just like at every turn, we see countries like Australia and other countries actually taking care of their people. That's what the CARES Act should have done, right? Rather than $4.25 trillion for major corporations, Wall Street, the banks, what if that 4.25 was spread out in paying off just rent forgiveness? So the landlords didn't lose money. The people didn't have to pay rent. The landlords were made whole, right? What Sam's talking about with the small businesses, not loans. Okay, just money here, right? So like in Los Angeles, they're just starting effective tonight. There's no more sit down restaurants. Even if it's outside and social distance, they're saying, no, it can only be takeout. And some restaurants are like, this is really going to hurt us. But if we had, and they're like getting lawyers, and they're making a case. I was watching this on the local news of they've only traced a handful of COVID cases to restaurants. More have been traced to just people having gatherings in their home, right? And again, at the root of all this is money, is finances, is people not being taken care of. The government said, hey, restaurants, we're going to have to shut you back down again because the numbers have spiked. Here's a bunch of money. Pay your staff. You're good. The restaurants will go, okay, fine. You could make an argument that the outdoor restaurant is safe and they don't need to do this. And that maybe the city of Los Angeles is overstepping in that regard. Could be. But why didn't, again, there would be like no mask arguments if all of the people of America were taken care of. Okay, the number spiked again. We got to shut everything down, but everyone's paid like they did in Victoria, the state that Melbourne is in, right? Numbers got really bad a month or so ago. They had to shut everything down, wear masks, but everybody got their, I think it's $1,500 every 2 weeks in Australia. They're already getting free healthcare there. Oh, more of that goddamn socialism. And now they're giving small businesses a bunch of money. It should be like, hey, Wall Street, hey, big banks, we don't, sorry, you should have saved for a rainy day. You've got billions of dollars in profit and you can't weather this storm. That's not our fault. Small businesses who are some of them are doing well, but I mean, how many small businesses have 8 months of savings to, no, you got 3, maybe 6 months to, but come on. Can you handle an 8-month shutdown? What? No one. Come on. Big banks can. Wall Street can. And they get stimulus money? That's such a great point, Sam. Thanks for bringing that up. Free Assange, absolutely. Thank you, Victoria B. Miss Hendricks, super sticker. How you doing, Miss Hendricks? Thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for supporting it. I appreciate it. So many of us suffer from political fatigue. God, tell me about it. I always say I'm sorry, and a family member never accepts it and never says sorry. I don't know what to do with them. It's very upsetting. Say you're sorry for you and then let it go with the rest of them. Shave your knuckles for justice from Anchorage, Alaska. You got it. An Alaskan knuckle shave. Love it. The USA Don't Care Act. Absolutely. Adam Gullick. Shave your knuckles for justice, Adam. What do you think about Pasta's voter fraud claims? Well, I had him on the show. I'm going to do a segment on it and talk about it. And and I like Pasta. I respect him. I respect what they do at the Convo Couch. I had him on, and yeah, there's probably more questions I wanted to ask after we got off the interview, which is like, how do you explain that Trump got more votes in 2020 than he did in 2016? Like, how do you explain that? If it's like all these votes are faked and all these mail-in ballots were duplicated for Joe Biden, how do you explain that Trump got more votes than he did in 2016? And that the voter fraud people never bring that up. Pasta hasn't brought that. I haven't heard that explained by them. Maybe they have, but they can't explain that. And I wish I would have asked them that question. They also can't explain. And again, this is not me defending the Democrats like, yay, Joe Biden won. I'm sure that they cheated in some way, but so did the Republicans. That's the point, is what the voter fraud people, because most of them are conservatives. I know Convo Couch isn't, but they don't bring up these things. The Republicans in this past election did what they always do. They try to limit polling places in black neighborhoods. You had the Republican governor of Texas try to like not count a bunch of ballots from black and brown neighborhoods. The Supreme Court of Texas overruled it. You had Lindsey Graham saying none of these mail-in ballots from this, like, you know, typically black zip codes, which were probably more than likely going to vote for Biden, don't accept those. You know, you had the two white Republicans on the Michigan, Board of Governors or election board or whatever, trying to discount votes from Detroit, which is, again, primarily black. So you got the Republicans always doing this crap. And yeah, the Democrats cheated. They cheated in their own primary. But that's really where the big cheating happens to get Joe Biden in there. And then they won a Republican campaign. And then there's there's no way Joe Biden got more votes than Barack Obama. See, that's a journalistic, I don't consider myself a journalist. I consider myself a comedian, sort of political commentator. But if you want to be a journalist, I mean, that's like journalism 101. You don't come to a conclusion and then work backwards to try to find evidence to support it. And if Russiagate was bullshit, this just feels like Republican Russiagate. I'm going to do a whole segment on it. It's just like, and then I wouldn't personally want to line up with all these, like, what is it, John or Jack Posobiec? I've learned about him. Oh God, he's some QAnon Nazi. Held up a sign saying rape Melania Trump at a anti-Trump rally, trying to get anti-Trump people to chant rape Melania, like fucking nutbag. Real alt-right Nazi type. A lot of those folks. I mean, he also went to the pizza restaurant that's implicated in Pizzagate. And if you read the Podesta emails, there's a lot of very suspicious, creepy shit about pizza involved in there. But he went to a kid's birthday party and like filmed it in this creepy manner. And it's like, that I wouldn't want to line myself up with those folks. And this just feels like Russiagate. This is the problem with the two-party system. Hillary runs a shitty campaign and they blame Russia. Trump loses because he botched a pandemic. And we've never had, it's been 100 years since we've had a pandemic. 2016 was low voter turnout. So we've had the highest, because of the pandemic, we've had high voter turnout. So I think if you want to fight for election integrity, and then really fight for ranked choice voting and ending this duopoly, because this is an odd hill to die on, you know. And again, it's if you've come it, and I'll quote this. Ben Bradley said this in an interview: "Beware of the stories you want to be true." All these liberals wanted Russia meddling to be true. They just couldn't possibly fathom that Trump beat Hillary. They just couldn't fathom it. So they just wanted Russia to meddle. They wanted that to be true so badly. So they bought it. They believed it. And anything Rachel Maddow said, they drank it hook, line, and sinker. And Trump supporters and people that just hate the Democratic Party. And there's a lot to hate the Democratic Party about. I mean, I can't begin to know what Tim Canova feels personally. I like Tim. I respect him. He's been screwed over by the Democrats in so many awful ways. But you want to believe that this happens. So you look for evidence that supports it. And that's kind of what our social media analytics do anyway. You know, our views are reflected back to us based on the social media analytics. So I don't know. The two-party system sucks. It's awful. I'm not happy. I'm glad Trump lost, but then that it immediately dissipates with like, oh, now we've got Biden, whose cabinet is a bunch of fossil fuel, warmongering, drone striking, awful. And that's the conclusion I come to, is not that this whole system is broken. And we need to just fucking, I don't know what, man. Revamp it, revolution, burn it down. I don't know what, but like fighting in support of Trump and QAnon or election stuff, that's not where I'm going to fight. That's just not, I'm not lining myself up with those people. And I went through this when the Epstein last summer of 2019, my channel went from 20,000 to 50,000 subscribers in 6 weeks because I started covering Epstein when he got arrested and then hung himself. I got crazy views. And so I get the like, ooh, clicks and our views are going up. Some of those people that were avidly following me were like right-wingers or QAnon people who would then say, Graham, it's only the Democrats, only the Clintons and Democrats are pedophiles, and Trump is literally going to rescue us from the sex trafficking billionaire pedophile ruling class. And I was like, no way. And I had to deliberately talk about that, do videos about that, show evidence of that, bring Whitney Webb on to show people. And I lost some of those QAnon people, and that's fine. I'm not trying to gain a certain group or that group. I'm just going after the truth. And that's the thing with the problem with this two-party system and the fact that both sides are so heavily propagandized is it's great to distract people from what's really going on. And I'm not lining up with any alt-right cocksuckers or any QAnon. QAnon is a psyop, and it is literally seems like it is designed to get people. It's becoming not just like, oh, they're conspiracy theorists, but it's trying to like ramp them. And psyop is, you know, a psychological operation. It's psychological warfare, and it's to manipulate people. I think it's trying to manipulate them into be crazy violent and fascism. And it's the undertone or secret hand that is moving QAnon seems very dangerous to me. So, you know, there's about 60-70% of the stuff they talk about where I go, I agree with that. I think you're right on this and this and this conspiracy and the deep state. But then they literally think that Trump is the savior, is like, no, sorry. Just like people dancing in the street thinking Biden is the savior. The whole system's broken, man. Graham, do you think there's any hope for change through electoral politics? I doubt it. I mean, unless you get so many lefties in on the local level, like if you just, and I've been saying this, the local city councils, because they can't control everything. The two corrupt political parties and the corporations that they work for, the intelligence community, they can't rig every local election. They just can't. You start overrunning city councils with real lefties like Kashwama Sawan and Nithya Ramon, who just got elected to the LA City Council. You start doing that. Not progressive Democrats, because that doesn't exist. I'm sorry. Even if you truly are progressive and you're within the Democratic Party, that's where progressives go to die. Like it won't happen. It ain't going to happen. You'll acquiesce like the Squad. You'll fight for some good things, but at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, you'll bend a knee for the power of the Democratic Party. You absolutely will. So that's the only way I sort of see it, is like if electoral politics really, people really get involved on the local level, because you see these ballot measures that pass, like we've talked about it a lot since the election. Florida passed $15 an hour minimum wage. Overwhelmingly, more people voted for that than Trump or Biden. And that state went to Trump, and yet they want $15 an hour minimum wage, right? You've got Mississippi legalizing marijuana and ending a Jim Crow law. You've got Mississippi, like the reddest of red states. You've got a lot of ballot measures and all this stuff that are very progressive passing. This notion it's going to come from the top down, there's no way. There's no way. It's got to come from the ground up or completely outside of it, meaning a third party. If you got a big third party that was like really set up to be impervious to infiltration and corruption, which is not easy to do with the intelligence community, you could maybe do it. Like get a third party candidate that just overwhelms people. But I really think it's got to be grassroots. I think you got to get Greens and socialists and People Party candidates on your local city council and state legislature. And when that starts happening, then maybe it could happen through electoral politics. But even with all of that, I think you're still going to need some type of boycotts or general strikes or some kind of mass shutdown to get people in power to listen. But this is why the liberals are such the problem, is they're foul. Every 4 years they think we're going to, and then they're still drinking this. Once we get back take back the Senate in the midterm. Oh God, we took back, we being the Democratic, awfully corrupt Democratic Party, took back Congress in 2018. What happened? What did they do? Voted for all of Trump's bullshit. So, first of all, you cannot reform the Democratic Party from within. It is the dumbest waste of time ever. So, I mean, get ranked choice voting on the ballot. Get progressives in your city council. And if there aren't any, you run. Like that kind of stuff matters on an electoral side, but it still might not be enough. Yeah, and the two parties are never going to give a damn about the people because the two parties are not funded by the people. The two parties are funded by big corporations. That's why they don't give a shit about the people. It's pretty simple. It's just easy math, easy dollars, follow the money. You know, if a rich guy gave you $1 million, you're going to do what the rich guy says. If your neighbor's like, hey, can you not? You're going to go, until you give me $1 million, I'm not going to give a shit. Yeah, ranked choice voting, and blockchain. Yeah, if you can do that, I mean, that's the other thing. That's another great point. I've brought this up before, but back to answer that question, if you revamp the voting system to open source blockchain voting, then yeah, we can do it. But right now, these two political parties that are utterly corrupt control the election system. We need to have a Republican and a Democrat in the room to count the votes. Oh, really? Oh, great. We've got a drug dealer and a pornographer in the room. Oh, what? Two criminals are watching the... Turbo GG. Boom. Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Problem, reaction, solution. They create problems, generate emotional reactions, then offer graphic solutions. Yeah, that's a great point. Good evening. There's currently a strike in Chicago for all certified nursing assistants because they still don't have PPE. Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, man, I said this at the very beginning of this pandemic. I said, if essential workers really wanted to get what they wanted and shut it down, if everybody walked off at Amazon or Walmart or Whole Foods and said, we demand union wages and hazard pay for working in COVID and all this stuff. Same with the nurses, same with the first responders. They just said no. That would really, that'd wake some people up, man. Over 1 million PPE sitting in docks in the UK gets people. Oh, God, of course. And we have such a broken system that doesn't even. I missed a few. Jonathan Guevara, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Hey, do you know about Yanis Varoufakis? Brilliant guy. Don't know about him. Brian Scott, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Graham, are you disappointed as well about not seeing what the striking angels from Africa and South Africa look like? I don't know that much about that situation, so it's hard for me to comment on it. Wendy Melly, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Thoughts on future of Justice Democrats? Ooh, great question. Great question. It's, man. I you know, when the Justice Democrats first came out, I was like, okay. And their whole thing, I know some of them said, well, it's just too hard to start a third party. So if we reform the Democrats from within, the Democratic Party already has this massive infrastructure in fundraising. And you know, they have offices in every state and every big city and all that stuff. And I got that, and I was like, yeah, okay. And then just watching them acquiesce, you know, the so-called progressive leadership, Bernie buckled, Tulsi buckled, the squad buckled. I'm just like, it's ridiculous. I'm not going to put any effort or time or money into the Justice Democrats. I never really did. I never gave them a penny, but I was like, oh, okay, maybe that'll work. I think, I don't know. I don't really care what they decide to do. I think what I'm going to do and what I think you should do is put effort into like Movement for a People's Party. You know, put time and effort and money into the DSA, put it into the Green Party, put it into these. I think, you know, I love what the People's Party is trying to do, what they stand for. And, you know, we had Ryan Knight on the show. Go back and watch that interview I did with him. And he sort of alluded to the fact that they're going to like run people for certain congressional or Senate districts, and they're going to have a candidate for 2024 for president. That's what it's going to take, because that People's Party will attract people from Republicans, from Democrats. They'll get libertarians. They'll get a lot of those 100-some million people that don't typically vote, that don't feel represented by either of these two corrupt parties. And if they're smart about it and build coalitions with like the Greens and the Libertarians on certain issues, they could really, you know, it'd be smart, something smart like this, like, you know, we're running in this district against a Republican and a Democrat, but there's no other third parties running against us. So the Greens also endorsed that candidate. The Libertarians, I don't know. Like, I think, and it kind of sounded like that's what Ryan said in his interview with me on this show, is that that's what they're going to try to do. And I think that's the best focus that they should have, quite honestly. Hit the like button, citizens. Sam Dean, we've got 265 likes. Let's get that up to 300, folks. Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Extra quick thing about the 5.3 billion stimulus in Australia. Did it take a vote? No. Was there an argument? No. Was there any political resistance? No. It's just right. Wow. So the government of Australia just gave $5.3 billion to small business without some stupid Congress and Senate, McConnell and Pelosi having some dumb slap fight over it? God, I don't know, dude. All this like socialism and helping out its citizens, it just doesn't seem right. You should have only two parties in your country battle over which party gets to fuck over the people of America better. $5.3 billion in a country that has there's only 26 million people in Australia, and their small businesses got $5.3 billion. So we have roughly there. So Australia is a little less. They're about, we're 330 million people. They're 26. So they're about 10%, a little less than 10% of our population, right? But let's just add a zero to that. So we could have just gone $53 billion for small businesses. We couldn't even just $53 billion directly to small businesses. In just a grant. Not a low interest. Why low interest loan? Does Wall Street have to pay back these loans? No, they don't. They're all forgivable. The big Wall Street loans, the stimulus money, they're all forgivable. God. Thank you, Sam, for that. Workers own the means of production. Support your communities. Canada just recently rolled out another rent subsidy program for businesses. I work in accounting, so now I have to learn how to help clients apply. Nice. Just reading today, 2 more $1,200 checks would prevent 14 million people from going into poverty. Good Lord. Why is it so hard? Yeah. Harlem Globetrotters and Washington Generals. Yep. So here's the thing with the chat. You guys want to disagree, that's fine. But if you're going to be insulting, you're losers, you're an idiot, then you get blocked. You can disagree. You can disagree. It's fine. You can debate. You can disagree. You can disagree with me. The two things. If you start being rude, you're gone. If you're annoying and say the same thing over and over again after, like, I've already made the point, I don't agree with that, and you keep arguing, that drives me fucking bananas. I will block you in every aspect of your life if I'm able to. You don't listen and you don't admit you're wrong. I got no respect for you. I haven't had a pay raise here in Canada in 10 years. God. All right, let's do a segment, kids. Let's kitty cat segment it. Kitty cat, kitty clack, kitty clack, clack, kitty clack, click, kitty clack, click, kitty clack, click, kitty clack, clack. Oh, I know what we need to do. There we go. That's what we do. Keep improving the studio. Me and Alfred inside the Batcave, constantly improving it.
But Graham, is Alfred union labor?
Oh, Jesus. It's just a comic book character. Do Shatner karaoke. I will at the end of the show. All right. Beep, boop, beep, beep, boop, 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 boop. Folks, 294 likes. Get it over 300. And of course, if you do a super chat, I will answer those when the segment is done. Do I have to pay Shatner royalties? No, he's doing good on its own, man. I do not. No, that's not what I want. No, no. Internet, no. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. Look at that delicious graphic pop up there. A great way to support the show is go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood, where you can submit articles like Alex Talk did. Democrats are innocent bystanders. Now, this is something we've talked about here. You know, what we're going to get into is how, okay, the Trump folks, conservatives, not exclusively, but they're still saying that the election was completely rigged and Joe Biden cheated. And what this article goes into is how the Democrats really started this 4 years ago with their Russiagate. This is the problem with the two-party, the duopoly. This is the problem. This is what this article goes into. It's very bad that Donald Trump is raising fundamental doubts about the veracity of the 2020 election and the legitimacy of Joe Biden's victory, but it isn't entirely unprecedented. Our only hope for de-escalation of partisan rancor requires coming to terms with each side's contribution to our present impasse. And I want to make that real clear. Is there legitimate stuff to say the Democrats did in this election to cheat? Yeah, sure, of course. But the Republicans cheated too. The Republicans always, and they did it again this time. The Democrats have openly cheated in their primary the last 2016 and 2020. They've cheated Bernie Sanders openly, like very obviously. He doesn't hold them accountable for it because he's either weak or he's designed to sheep herd progressives and just nosedive us, get us all on a plane. We're going to change the Democratic Party and then just drive us into the side of a mountain so we can't actually get what we want and make any real change and get this country out of the hands of the oligarchs, which control both parties. So did they mess with mail-in ballots? I'm sure that they did. Some of the evidence, I'm like, But what's happening, and people will Graham, this thing. Okay, cool, fine. But the problem is not, did the Democrats cheat or not? It's that the system's broken. Because I still haven't heard one single of these voter fraud people explain to me how Donald Trump got more votes in 2020 than he did in 2016. How did that happen? The first thing they say is there's no way Joe Biden got more votes than Obama did in 2008. Well, there was a pandemic. And again, I'm not a Biden supporter. I didn't vote for either one of these rapists, the rapist pieces of shit. Let me make that real clear. I watched the debates last month and I was so despondent. I was like, these are the two best people. This is our only chance. Is the lesser of two rapists. Both of them are for fracking. So one's with fracking that believes in science and one's for fracking that doesn't believe in science. Oh, but at least the vice presidents. Oh, we've got one that doesn't want to have lunch with women because he can't control himself because he's a wingnut Christian who's probably a closeted homosexual. Oh, and then we've got the woman that put 100,000 black people behind bars and loves being a cop. Awesome. Awesome choices. Awesome. So both parties have created this problem. So Hillary loses in 2016. Oh, it must be Russia's fault. The Democratic Party doesn't analyze any of their problems. And they don't want to, and the Republicans and Rudy Giuliani, as his hair leaks in front of a dildo factory or whatever, one of those stupid We're in front of Four Seasons Lawn Care. If The Onion wrote that, I would have laughed, but said, yeah, this would never really happen. Our political system is ridiculous. That's my point. And both parties have contributed to this. So now Trump people and right-wingers and some other folks are saying that there's no way, which is a backwards, it's a journalistic thing, right? It's journalism 101. And I don't consider myself a journalist. I'm a comedian that likes making fun of how broken our system is. You come to a conclusion and then work backwards to find evidence to support it, right? The Democrats did that with Russiagate.
There's no way Hillary had double-digit polling numbers. She was going to crush. There's no way she lost to Trump.
So then they work backwards to find anything to support that Russia, right? And Russia, so anything they hear, Russia, did they try to influence the election? Of course they did. A lot of countries do. AIPAC spends a lot of money influence. They buy politicians. Russia spent, we found out in front of Congress, Russia spent $100,000 on Facebook ads. They're trying to influence the election, but they didn't hack. They did $100,000 in Facebook ads. Really? That's what did it? And then Google said in front of Congress that there were $4,700 in ads spent by Russia on Google that they identified. So just under $105,000, that defeated Hillary's $1.5 billion. Russia's been debunked, right? And this fight for election integrity, or the Trump people just can't admit it. This is the problem with the two-party system. Whenever one of them loses, they bitch and moan that the other side, because the Republicans have shut down in this election, which they do in every election, Republicans shut down polling places in black and brown neighborhoods. The governor of Texas was trying to not allow mail-in votes from a black district. The Texas Supreme Court said no. Lindsey Graham there's that phone call, Lindsey Graham saying, don't take these mail-in ballots from these zip codes where black people live. The two Republicans in Michigan on the board of governors, or the board of elections, trying to not count votes from Detroit. Come on, man. That's the problem with this two-party system. They both cheat. And this is what this article talks about. Asymptomatic polarization thesis, according to which the primary political story of the past few decades has been the continual radicalization of the Republican Party, with Democrats holding fast to the center left. The theory derives its plausibility from the fact that the Democratic base includes large numbers of ideological moderates, the voters who backed Biden and gave him his decisive victory in the 2020 primaries. Well, that's not true. That right there is and again, that's kind of what this article it kind of thinks Russia. It's a little neoliberally, this article, but it's in the show notes. Read it. But that's the problem. What has happened in America? That's the ideology, right? Democratic Party's holding fast. No, the Republican Party has gone hard to the right, and the Democratic Party has followed them. So now the Democratic Party has moved so far to the right that they're actually where the Republican Party was 30 years ago. That's why you have literally people like Liz Warren. 30 years ago, she was a Republican. Her views haven't changed, but just everything's moved to the right. So now where she's standing is the Democratic Party. That's why when I hear the Fox News people say, Joe Biden's a fascist, Marxist, I laugh, and then I go, God, I wish. Joe Biden is a Republican. He's against Medicare for all. He's against a Green New Deal. On down the line. But this is what this article is, and it's a valid contention that the Democratic Party is part of this contentious duopoly. That's why our choices are a shit sandwich or a shit sandwich with lettuce, right? The Democratic shit sandwich is a gluten-free bun with organic lettuce, shit sandwich, and the Republican shit sandwich is wholesome red, white, and blue bun, wrapped in a fucking American flag wrapper, and it's got American cheese on it. Still a shit sandwich. You are both eating shit sandwiches. Instead of an honest soul searching about how and why so many voters in the upper Midwest took a chance on Trump and rejected Hillary Clinton after many of them had voted for Barack Obama in 2008 and 2012, a valid point. The Democratic Party refused to go, why did we lose? No, Russia. It was just Russia. Was it? Or was it the fact that, and I'm sure the Republicans they manipulated and cheated in 2026. I'm sure they did. But you can't deny the fact that when Hillary was doing $10,000 a plate dinners in cities like New York and LA and San Francisco and Chicago, Trump was campaigning in front of closed factories in the middle of the country going, I'm going to get your job back. I'm going to fight for you. This working class white people who've been completely abandoned. The Democratic Party refused to look at that. They refused to look at like states that voted, like West Virginia, voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary and then voted for Trump because they're like, we didn't forget NAFTA. Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton were part of NAFTA that took a lot of people's jobs away. They didn't forget that. The Democratic Party didn't want to look at that. And the Republican Party now doesn't want to look at the fact that Trump is completely fucking bungled COVID. And everything like red states that never had mask mandates because they wanted to be in line with Trump, who said masks aren't that effective, right? They've switched their tune because some of those states are hit the worst. The Dakotas. I mean, you've got Republican governors saying, sorry, mask mandates, more shutdown measures. That's been happening in the last month. Before the election, that was happening. That's significant. You can't just say Joe Biden cheated. Again, I'm sure the Democrats did some type of cheating in this election. I'm sure that they did. I'm not saying this was a fair and honest election. That's a joke to me. But it's never fair with these two corrupt parties. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I have to repeat that because there's still going to be some dipshit in the comments who's going to go, Graham thinks Joe Biden is great, or whatever. This is the wrong argument to have. The argument is this two-party system creates this environment where no matter whoever loses, they've got some bitch-ass excuse that has not much evidence. And anyone watching goes, there's all this evidence Biden cheated. You know who you sound like? All of the Russia gators, even though that's been debunked. They've done recounts in Georgia. You've got, the ballots were all fake. Probably. It's like the old kind of, campfire story was like when Kennedy beat Nixon in 1960 was like the Nixon campaign couldn't accuse Kennedy of cheating better than them because both of them cheated. Nixon stuffed ballot boxes in the South and, Kennedy had San Giancana, mob boss, get a bunch of dead people in Chicago to vote for him. I grew up in Chicago. There's dead people voting in every election. There's a lot of really solid people that care about our democracy that are dead in Chicago that always get to vote. These people get ghost payroll. Chicago's a fantastic city. But I'm drawing these comparisons to show you, not to take a side that I love Joe Biden, but to show you it's all corrupt bullshit. Don't fight about this. This is the dumbest hill to die on. You really want to die on this hill? What's that? You really want to die on this hill? You want to line up with QAnon people? Are you sure? John Posobiec or Jack Posobiec? That guy's a wingnut. All right. Far too many Democrats began espousing widely exaggerated tales of Russian interference in the 2016 election, including outlandish and now debunked stories of active collusion between the Trump campaign and Russian intelligence. And they did such a great propaganda campaign. I just met somebody and they were like a friend of a friend. Oh, I hear your friend. Oh, we're just talking. We're like at the beach. We're talking. And they're like, oh, what are you working on? Oh, I got a YouTube channel. It's doing well. And I'm finishing up this documentary when I went to Russia. And what was real? It was awesome. I had a great time. Wow. Did you meet Putin and ask him to stop interfering in our election? This person said to me. So he made it. I'm like, oh God, they're a neoliberal. And then I said, yeah. And then he asked me to tell the CIA to stop interfering. That was part of my argument with the Russia thing. They're interfering with our elections with just a complete blind eye to how the CIA is just all we do is interfere. The CIA interfered with this election. They interfere on their home soil. So accusing the Democrats of cheating without holding the Republicans accountable for any of their cheating is like, come on. They do voter suppression. That's their big angle. That's what the Republicans love doing. There was a ballot box in Riverside, California, which is largely in a Latino neighborhood, that somebody set on fire. Oh, weird. Come on. White nationalists threatening people. Somebody at the Republican Party didn't hear about that or know about it, or they certainly didn't tell them no. Come on. The blame dodging often took the form of claims about the Trump presidency that anticipated the nonsense that Trump now asserts about Biden. We gotta love the internet. So Trump is making all these claims. Biden cheated, and yet Giuliani say Venezuela's involved. Wait a minute. But I thought, isn't Venezuela busy fighting off a CIA coup with your fake guy, Juan Guaido? Remember this from 2017? Oh, look, it's Nancy Pelosi, May 16th, 2017. Our election was hijacked. There is no question Congress has a duty to protect our democracy and follow the facts. And now Trump's putting this stuff? And you really are going to pick a side on this one and say that it's bullshit. She hasn't gotten your stimulus, and neither is Mitch McConnell. When are you going to wake up? When are you going to wake up? Biden is putting in his cabinet a bunch of warmonger and fossil fuel people, just like Trump did. Hey, man, you can't cheat better than I do. I mean, yeah, I cheated, but you can't. You're cheating more than I cheated. That's not right. I mean, when I cheat, it's like honorable. My cheating is... This is all just from the last 4 years. Will Trump be meeting with his counterpart or handler? Trump Putin. That's what they're trying to say, right? A plausible theory of mind-boggling collusion. Remember Hillary Clinton said? Remember when Hillary Clinton said, I ran a shitty campaign? The reason I lost is because I didn't campaign in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Remember that? No, she didn't say that. She blamed Russia, Burn Bros, Jill Stein. Who else? Susan Sarandon. Who else got blamed? So now Giuliani with his leaking hair is blaming. It's the same bullshit, man. Don't fall for it. Hillary Clinton. Trump, an illegitimate president. And that's after she yelled at her staff for saying, how come you guys didn't cheat better? How come you let Trump out cheat us? Narcissistic sociopath who can never admit she's wrong. Sound like anyone you know? Trump can never admit he's wrong. Trump can't admit the one thing, I said this on this show, Ron Placone said this on, a bunch of us said this. The only thing that would Trump was looking like he was going to beat Biden, or like Biden is awful and he's going to lose. And I was more than ready to do a bunch of videos showing this is why Biden lost, because he's so stupid and bailed on progressives, and they ran a Republican with Republican people at their Democratic convention, John Kasich, all these awful people. This is what you get. The only thing is if Trump bungles COVID so bad that people just are like, Trump ruined, he didn't handle COVID right, so we're voting him out, which happens during a crisis. And when Nancy Pelosi was like fighting over stimulus and stuff, and Trump was talking about, I mean, had Trump just given people UBI, he talked about that. Had he just given people free health care, he would have won, but he didn't. Trump fucked up COVID. I mean, you got to admit that. He just handled it horribly, said it wasn't real, didn't wear masks, numbers spiked. He got COVID. His staff has gotten COVID. 700 deaths have been linked. And you can sit there and go, Graham, I don't believe COVID. It's fake. Okay. I know. Surgeons have been wearing masks for decades because what? Hillary doesn't want to own her mistakes. That's why she lost. Trump doesn't want to own his mistakes. That's why he lost. Both parties cheat. See, all those things can be true at the same time. Our latest government economist poll has a host of troubling findings about public confidence in the election. 86% of Trump voters say that Biden did not legitimately win the election. 73% say we'll never know the real outcome of this election. All these things were said by Democratic Hillary voters 4 years ago, but about Russia. I just showed you what Pelosi said. We also see the usual patterns and attitudes about mail-in voting and fraud. 88% of Trump voters say they believe that illegal immigrants voted fraudulently in 2016 and tried again in 2020. But Trump won in 2016. Again, nobody in the voter fraud camp can explain to me how Trump got more votes in 2020 than he did in 2016. How did that happen? How did that happen? Republicans are also exhibiting some concerning attitudes about the franchise, with 46% saying that some people are not smart enough to vote, 27% among Dems, and 43% saying that people should have to pass a test before voting. Yeah, both parties hate you. Both parties hate regular people. They hate you. They hate you. They hate you. Trump hates you. Biden hates you. They all hate you. 89% of Trump voters think he should contest the outcome of the election in court, and 60% of his voters think it will change the outcome. Fewer than half of Americans expect there will be a peaceful transition of power to a Biden presidency. Eliminate the oligarchs. And this helps fuel, by the way, the Russia gating and this voter fraud now 4 years later helps fuel the ruling class's mission of keeping us divided. If we're in the streets fighting over this, just like we were fighting over Russiagate, great, we're divided. We're not uniting in the fact that what we really need to do is take out the ruling class. What we really need to do is say, we want a whole new voting system. Here's what you should be fighting for. Open source blockchain voting. Ranked choice voting. Eliminating the Congress and the Senate. You heard me. Read Mike Gravel's book. It's easy to do. Direct access. There's a bill that's put. It's got to be 500 words or less. It's got to be in plain English, not legalese. And Americans vote on the bill. What if we just had that? Oh, it's got to go to Congress and a committee and the no. You want Medicare for all. Here's what Medicare for all is going to be. It's 500 words or less. This is how it's going to be funded. America, do you want to vote for it? Yes or no? We all go online. It's open source blockchain. It's secure from hacking. Boom. We got free healthcare. Here's a bill to cut the military budget in half. 500 words, clear English. This is how we're going to do it. Vote for it. No Congress and this and that. Congress and the Senate. That's where all the lobby groups are. That's what you should be fighting for. Because this keeps us divided. Pepsi drinkers think Coke is a lie. Coke drinkers think Pepsi's a lie. Coca-Cola rots your teeth and gives you diabetes. Here's AOC. I mean, Coke Zero. U.S. political culture is suffering from a self-perpetuating disease of delegitimization, in which each side indulges in conspiracies that portray itself as an innocent victim of injustice. They both caused it. Get rid of the duopoly. Get rid of the duopoly. That's where you should focus your efforts. Many ways to do that. Get behind a third party like the People's Party. Get third party people, not progressive Democrat. Get third party people. The majority of Americans want free health care. The majority of Americans want $15 an hour minimum wage. The majority of Americans need stimulus now. The majority of Americans don't want to spend all this money on military when it could be spent here at home. The majority of Americans want this. Fox polls show this. Stop getting caught up in this stupid two-party slap fight. It's designed to keep us divided. Yeah. I'm glad Trump's gone, but I'm not excited about Joe Biden at all. And had Trump won, I would be like, I don't know. Is this bad? I don't know. I'm not happy Trump got reelected, but I'm glad Joe Biden's not. No, they're both. It's a shit sandwich. Either way, it's a shit sandwich. Don't fight over who, made the sandwich. This is like the Titanic is sinking and you're arguing about the captain of the boat lied on his job application. The boat's sinking. Everybody lies on their job applications. All boat captains are drunks. Thanks for watching the show, everybody. Like, share, subscribe. We're being unsubscribed in an alarming late because Google owns YouTube and Google's been working with the CIA. So they don't want me talking about unity. They don't want me saying both parties are bullshit. They don't want me to say, hey, this is how they're keeping us divided, is fighting over this. Did Trump cheat? Did Biden cheat? Did Russia? They don't want a message of unity, man. They don't want it. But that's why you come here. And that's why you support what I do. This is my honest opinion, folks. Nobody's telling me what I can or cannot say. I'm not a liberal. I'm not a Democrat. I am an anti-war, pro-labor, pro-environment socialist. So if you're a liberal or you're fucking alt-right, go suck it. Thanks for watching the show. Shave your knuckles for justice. Hello, citizens of Gotham. We have 378 likes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's read over some of these delicious super chats made hot and fresh and ready for your enjoyment. Kate, our moderator, show Kate some love. Kate, shave your knuckles for justice. Does anyone else love that after Warren shanked Sanders on the live debate and listened to Obama and dropped out to give a lane for Biden, she gets effed over for herself? I love that. It's so hilarious to me. She clearly weaseled and lied. She was so desperate to just get the nomination or at the very least please the Democratic Party could you just call me a liar? That fake thing. She sold out Bernie and he's too nice to call her on it. And now she's getting nothing from the Democratic Party. It's great. Tulsi was mad she didn't get anything from the Democratic Party. But Tulsi, it's because she called out Kamala. And, if Bernie's in in Biden's cabinet, so you can't tell them apart. If Bernie's in Biden's cabinet, I'd be like, okay, good. Bernie will be the one kind of progressive in there. But push comes to shove. I mean, if they shank Bernie, I'll be like, yeah, Bernie, what did you expect? And if they put him in there, I'll be like, all right, let's see how many things you get past. How many times they just sort of pat you on the head and go, that's great, Bernie. Go tweet about it. We're not going to do anything you want. Thanks, Bernie. DC Punk, shave your knuckles for justice. Thank you for this, Graham. My pleasure. My pleasure. What's up, Deadhead83 and J9 over at the Rockfin? How are you? Everybody over at the Facebook, how you doing? J Jersey Girl, making Gotham great again. Don't send it to Congress. Congressmen and women just vote for their own self-interest and set up their next career move. Yeah, I mean, that's my point of going to what Mike Gravel said in his book of just getting open source blockchain voting so the people vote directly on things. Like, I'd love to get rid of Congress and the Senate. We don't need them. You want to save the American people some money? Get rid of those assholes. Tried the super chat 5 times with no luck, no message, nothing. Anyway, are you saying the squad voting to keep Mama Bear as speaker wasn't progressive? Don't get mad at Mama Bear. Keith, first of all, I'm sorry about this. Is another way YouTube is throttling us is people. This happens all the time. I can't get my super chat through. I hear that all the time. And that's why if you want, go to Venmo at Graham-Elwood. I'll check Venmo right now and put a question in Venmo and I'll read it. It just, you see how they're trying to stifle us. Like it's so frustrating to see my subscriber count go down. Whoops. Easy remote. Go away, remote. To see my subscriber count go down is like such a disheartening thing. I'm going live 4 to 5 days a week. I'm dropping 2 to 3 clips a day. I'm doing 15 to 20 clips a week. And I started doing that during the pandemic. Prior to that, I was doing 10 to 12 clips a week, which is still a lot. And I was going live like 2 days a week. I'm pumping out so much goddamn content and my fucking subscriber numbers is going down. Fuck them. Is Yang getting anything? He will. He played ball. He'll get something. Because he's a fake progressive that just espouses his, whatever tech libertarian nonsense. AD, shave it, AD. For justice, rotated for truth. Vegan guns. I'm giving thanks for my vegan guns. Giving thanks for the sweet monitor. Giving thanks for all of you. Unless you're a fuckstick. I've got a few bucks to spare since I started ignoring Bernie's texts. 27 bucks. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh God. I get so, because I donated to Bernie and Tulsi's campaign. So then I got put on some Democratic, and I have been getting all summer. The election's fucking over and they're still texting me 12 emails or more a day. You got to vote for Georgia, whatever. There's always some Trump's going to, we need your money. What a bunch of parasites. Giving money to the Democratic Party is not going to make anyone's life better. It's unbelievable. And they have plenty. Why are they asking for regular people's money? Can't they just go get it from everybody in the wine cave? Why do you need my $10? Like, they're not. Oh, is the Democratic Party struggling? God. Just have the tech companies, have one of their tech billionaires write you a 7-8 figure check. Why are you bugging regular people in the middle of a pandemic for money? Good God. Fuck. I'm dependent on viewers because I can't do the show without you. It's that simple. But I don't have millions of dollars. I don't have any big. If I had like some rich person just giving me a bunch of money, just like, Graham, here's millions of dollars, just do your show, I wouldn't ask you for money. I wouldn't. I'd be like, don't worry about it. Save your money, donate it to charity. I got the show's covered. Or if I won the lottery or something, you know what I mean? Like some relative I didn't know I had left me a bunch of millions of, okay. I bought some Bitcoin and Bitcoin goes to $1 million a coin. I'd be like, don't worry about it. We're all good. Not the Democratic Party. Oh, parasites. Algorithm. Who could ask for anything more? Who could ask for anything more? Thank you, Iowa Blackbird. Bernie owes me 27. He owes us a lot of money. He owes all of us money. Good night, Graham. See you tomorrow. Have some sleep and take care, buddy. Thank you, Matty D. Shave your knuckles for justice. I'm speaking, Cop Mala. Isn't it yummy seeing Warren eat it? Yes, it is. It is quite lovely. Boom, boom, boom. Kate's our moderator. Show her some love. Blanca Alvarado, what's up, Blanco? Shave your knuckles for justice. Hello, Graham. Have you heard about the recall campaign against Kshama Sawant? I just saw an interview with her by Status Quo. Wow. I have not heard about that. That bothers me, but sadly, I'm also not surprised. I'm assuming Amazon's funding it. It's got to be somebody like that. Jeff Bezos spent $1.5 million in a super PAC to try to prevent her. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's behind that. That sucks. I mean, good on Jordan and Status Quo for covering that, but of course they're trying to recall her. Good Lord. This is why you have to overwhelm them. One socialist on the city council ain't enough because they'll cause so many problems. She's caused so many problems for the ruling. And this again, Seattle's a Democratic city. See what the corporate Democrats do? Block a socialist because she's preventing them from getting big donor money because she's doing stuff like help the people and rent control and getting homeless off the streets and all those evil socialist things, that Jesus would do because he was a socialist. Thanks for letting us know about that, Blanca. I'll look into it. Annabelle Corley, how you doing down under? Is Julian's dripping hair dye in a car park a metaphor about... Oh, Giuliani's dripping hair dye in a car park a metaphor about America? Yes, that really sums up those two Giuliani, one in front of the Four Seasons lawn care next to the dildo shop, and then this newest one in the parking lot with his hair leaking. That's like America. There's a guy, pedophile, was willing to have sex with a child that, during a Borat movie that he denies. Used to be a hero. Everybody after 9/11, he's a hero. We find out who he really is. God, they're evil. See, that's the thing about QAnon that drives me insane. Not drives me insane, but shows you how there's something more nefarious behind them. Are there people who follow QAnon that might just really want the truth? And I have no doubt. But they've been propagandized because it's a psyop and they're very clever and they know what they're doing. But the people behind it, I don't trust them at all. Because the minute that thing came out about Giuliani wanting to have sex with that girl that Sacha Baron Cohen released, QAnon should have gone all after it. If they're just about stopping the pedophiles, that's what they're about. They should have gone all after it. But see, Giuliani is a Trump guy, so they're going to give him a pass. Just like the liberals, the Vote Any Blue Will Do crowd. Well, I've heard them say, I watched that Netflix thing on Epstein and, the Clintons, they just didn't know. Oh, they didn't know? Really? When Bill was on his plane 26 times, Hillary 2 times. I've said that to people who are big Hillary supporters. I go, she was on his plane 2 times and they both went to his compound numerous times. They just kind of go, yeah. That's the best they'll give you. They won't go, what? Oh, fuck, I'm changing my view. That's awful. She's horrific. That's, again, part of what I'm talking about. This duopoly has poisoned people to shut off half of their brain to logic and truth. Ugh, awful. Are y'all ready for the Great Reset? Everybody build back better. Order out of chaos. Build back better. Oh, and Johnson, shave your knuckles for justice. Have you heard about Camp Mini Luzon in South Dakota, a homeless encampment for Native people on Native land outside of Rapid City? Good stuff. Donate. Oh, wow. No, I didn't, Owen. Thank you for letting us know about that. Okay. That's cool. Let me read that again. Camp Mini Luzon in South Dakota, a homeless encampment for Native people on Native land outside Rapid City. Good stuff. Donate. All right. Thanks, Owen. Thanks for letting us know about that. Really appreciate it. That's what we got to do. We got to take care of each other. The government doesn't give a shit about us. They don't care about us at all. At all. At all. DC Punk, you're making Gotham great again. Boom. Jim Watkins is Q. He also a P word. It's the funniest grift. Funny. Yeah. Logic and truth is Karl Marx. once you just accept that everyone in power is just evil, doesn't matter, Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. Once you just accept that, you can just see everything clearer. You see how all the games are played, you know, and you can just kind of go, oh, and you get out of this. Well, if that, then, you know, these leaps of logic, rather than you let go of those leaps of logic and just go, well, both of these things can be true. Biden, Trump, they both cheated. They're both filthy and awful. You know, you can just easier. Somebody said they left. Oh, Andrew Dwyer, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Thank you for supporting me in Venmo. What Andrew did is went to @Graham-Elwood, and some people are having a problem with the super chat. Of course, that's Google CIA blocking us. Do you think there are genuine populists on the right? If so, who? That's a valid question. I think there are, God, I can't think of any like genuine ones. They're not in the Republican Party, just like there's no one in the Democratic Party. I do believe that there are plenty of conservatives or people voted for Trump that are populist, because again, this is another thing the Democratic Party refused to look at was Trump in 2016. He didn't run this way in 2020, which is, again, another mistake he sort of made. He just said in 2020, I'm the best, Joe Biden's awful, stick with me. In 2016, he ran a populist campaign. He said, I'm going to get your jobs back. Make America great again was a populist thing. Granted, he had, xenophobic and all that stuff. You know, the Mexicans are all drug dealers and they're coming to get us or whatever. He had that shit in there, which is awful. But people forget, he said, I'm going to get us out of all these wars. That's what this publicity stunt basically of bringing back some of the troops in Iran and Afghanistan. He's not bringing everybody home. He's just drawing the troop number down a little bit so he can say, see, I kept my campaign promise. But my point is, a lot of like neoliberals didn't realize that many people voted for Trump. Not because they're like, wow, I love racism or whatever, because he ran on popular. They were like, I want out of these wars. Why are we spending money on wars? We need jobs. We need infrastructure. And they kind of like, yeah, maybe Trump can do this. I don't know. And they sort of wrote off some of his offensive sayings. It's just, he says crazy shit, which I kind of get that. Oh, he's just, I got a crazy guy I work with who says that awful stuff. They don't realize the sort of implications of somebody in the White House saying these things and what that means. But there's a lot of populist conservatives that I've met, that I've come across that, like, one of the reasons I'm on Peter Lavelle's show a lot is he is very anti-war. Peter Lavelle is like an old school Reagan Republican, but he's for populist policies and platforms and a lot of stuff. That's why he and I sort of agree on certain things. And he brings me on his show because he likes I think he likes bringing me on because he knows I'm going to go after the neoliberal Democrat before I go after the conservative on his show, which is fine by me. But that's part of it. Again, to your question, every time I've been on his show, especially the last time, I didn't really get into it with the Republican, with the conservative, because we agree on a lot of stuff. And the conservative that's like, oh, socialism is bad and it'll destroy America. When you sit them down and talk to them about what socialism really means, workers own the means of production, and you explain to them it's just taking public money, tax dollars, and spreading it out evenly. That's what democratic socialism is. That's how the fire departments run. They'll listen to that. So that's why I think why I was so excited about Jesse Ventura. And if he's aware of it, and I was told he was sort of blocked. People around him, there's one or two people that were maybe secret corporate Dem operatives or something. If he or somebody like him, that's that popular, that people are well known, if he ran, it's why Bernie should have picked Tulsi as his VP early on in the primary, just announced it early. But if Jesse were to run in 24, you would get a lot of right, center right, libertarian who would be on board with a lot of this populism. Because a lot of that, like, oh, you can't just give all these social programs are going to fix everything. A lot of people are changing their views on that, watching what's happening these last 8 months. They're seeing the bread lines. I mean, literally bread lines. They're seeing, and it's going to get worse when the evictions hit. And so I think you're seeing a lot of people going, damn, man, maybe we do need more social programs. Maybe we do. I mean, I'm hearing conservatives and libertarians say this. Maybe we should spend a little more money. And when people like me go, yeah, it's Nancy Pelosi's main fault why we don't have a stimulus plan. They're trying to blame the Republicans. And I don't like Mitch McConnell. He's a bag of shit too. But like, they're more open to populism than you think. The older sort of white conservative Fox News people that think socialism is the same thing as like Stalin, they're a harder group to turn. But I think there's way more. I can't think of any actual populist politicians. Maybe there's some in the chat, but that's a great question. And when it's explained correctly, you actually can get more conservatives to, like, defund the police is not a good marketing slogan. I've said it on the show. I know what it means, but to someone on who's conservative, they're going to be like, defund them. Oh, what? So we're just going to let law and order, like when you explain, no, we're talking about reforming it from a finance standpoint, taking some money instead of them getting up armored vehicles and rubber bullets and tear gas. We spend it on homelessness and schools and poverty. So the cops don't have to deal with all these problems. When you explain it just from a very simple budgetary standpoint, they're actually open to it. And it's a populist platform. They might not realize that they're on board with it, that they're on board with populism. But when you explain it in those terms, they get it. When you explain we outspend the next 10 countries combined, and if we cut that budget in half, we would still outspend anybody else on this planet. And if we spent that money on our people here in America, they're going to listen to that. They actually believe in that because they are like, yeah. Some of them are. I mean, some of the wealthy ones are like, to hell with them. Like all wealthy people, be they wealthy conservatives or wealthy liberals, are like, I don't give a shit. As long as I'm in my gated community, I don't care. There's that. But I think there's more populism in conservatives than is apparent. It's not as obvious. I don't know. Great question. Ron Paul may have been the closest we got to a populist right winger in office, which isn't too much. Yeah, I know. I was about to say Ron. I hesitate because there's so much like stuff. LBTQAnon, nice. Start free food cops, permaculture, regenerative agriculture, nice. I think that's McConnell's shitbag. My father's a Vietnam vet, a longtime Dem, voted for Trump. One time we talked about the fear of socialism. Can't remember context. He said, what's wrong with that? Nice. Let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats. 427 likes, everybody. Owen Johnson, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Have Thomas Frank on to talk about populism history. Oh, I'd love to have him on. I know he's got that book, Listen Liberal, and he had another book that came out. For sure. Sandra Mayer, boom. Shave Your Knuckles, Sandra. Jen Diaz from Status Quo was at the Giuliani presser, the one they held in the sardine can room. Now she's sick. Oh, God. Jesus. That sucks. All right, I got some more segments to do. See if there's any more in the Venmo. I'm off Charkaze, Shaving Uncles for Justice. Thank you for supporting the show. Boom, boom. All right, kids. Let's do it to it. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. Boom. We are making Gotham great again. Well, I've been trying to talk about climate change as much as I can. I know the last couple of weeks we've been talking more election stuff, but climate collapse is still happening. It's still happening, which is why I'm not excited about Joe Biden at all. How can we be excited about Joe Biden? We said middle ground climate policy, no Green New Deal. Argued, I'm not for a Green New Deal. In the debate, Trump was like, you're for a Green New Deal. I was like, no, I'm not. Same thing in the VP debate. Mike Pence was like, you guys are for a Green New Deal. Kamala was like, I'm not for a Green New Deal. We don't want to save the human race. We want to profit from it before everybody dies. Because it's collapsing every time there's a report. It's always like, oh, it's happening faster and worse than we initially thought. Climate change, Arctic permafrost now melting at levels not expected until 2090. Series of anomalously warm summers. Anomaly. Anomalously. Sorry. Having a word day. Caused ground to thaw, researchers say. This is from a year ago. Let's talk about it. So the reason I'm bringing this up is all the Vote Any Blue Will Do crowd. It's like, don't pressure Joe Biden yet. He's putting fossil fuel people in his cabinet. He's putting just Republicans who are always against climate change. John Kerry is the guy he's going to nominate to. It's going to get us back in the Paris Accord. Okay, great. I'm glad we're in the Paris Accord. But that's why I was so adamant for any candidate that had a real Green New Deal. And there was only 3 in the Democratic primary. Mike Gravel, who I love, I had on the show. I donated to him. He didn't stand a chance because they crushed him. Tulsi, who co-wrote the OFF Act, and Bernie Sanders' Green New Deal, who last summer of 19, he revamped it and put a real bold Green New Deal in there. I was like, this is the only thing we got. This is our last chance. So I'm sorry, centrists. You're going to get us killed. You're doing the work of the fossil fuel industry, which is insane. They're insane. They're crazy people. They're crazy people. They just profit. But the fossil fuel industry knows about this. Look, in 1977, Exxon did an internal study. In 1977, their own scientists found, burning fossil fuels in an internal combustion engine is causing climate change. Back then, they called it global warming. Exxon went, oh, God. Had another study in the early 80s, more science, confirmed it even more, and then they slowly stopped. And then by the mid to late 80s, they were spending money on climate change denial. So they knew about it. So anyone's like, oh, it's cyclical. It's not cyclical. The oil companies knew about it in the 70s. So I'm sorry. I wasn't cheering in the streets when Joe Biden. I was like, okay, Trump lost. He's a climate denier. His whole cabinet was climate deniers. He literally had the head of ExxonMobil as his Secretary of State when he first got Rex Tillerson. Literally, if that shows you what this country is, the Secretary of the State Department was run by an oil company, is in essence what happened. Of course, he got fired because Trump fired everybody like the crybaby tin pot dictator bitch that he is. And now we're replaced with this other rapist idiot, 2 old fuckheads that don't care that everyone's going to die because they're going to be dead. Permafrost has begun thawing in the Canadian Arctic more than 70 years early because of climate change, according to new research. It has been thought that the permafrost, ground that remains frozen for at least 2 years, would remain until at least 2090. Graham, your purity test. What more purity test do you need? So I'm sorry. When Ocasio-Cortez goes on CNN and said she's not bothered by Joe Biden not banning fracking, she said, I'm not bothered. Well, I'm not happy, but we'll try to pull him where? You think we don't have till 2090? Look, the UN report that came out 2 years ago. This is the thing. This is why AOC is so disappointing. She was the one who was like, when she got sworn in January of 18. I'm sorry. She got sworn in January of 19. She ran in 18. She was running on 18 because the UN report that came out the beginning of 2018 said we have less than 12 years. We have to get off of fossil fuels. We have to completely do this as a world, as a global economy by the year 2030. Otherwise, it's too late. This is why I hate incremental centrism. It is literally killing us. Your lesser of two evil bullshit is killing us. When Bernie got cheated and then he quit, I was furious. Oh, you Bernie support. No, it's not him. It's that he was the only guy that had a legitimate shot at getting in the White House that had a real Green New Deal. Yeah, but Graham, he might be Biden's secretary of meow, 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 meow. Oh, great. Maybe. They're just floating that out there to get dumb progressives to fall for another trick. And even if he does get in there, great. I'd love to have Bernie in Biden's cabinet. Well, how much will he be allowed to get done? My friend Joe Biden. But the study found thawing levels were above 150 to 240% above historic levels. I don't know how you read this and then go, yeah, I'm going to vote for Liz Warren, who wanted to green up the military. I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris, who looked into the camera at the VP debates and said, we're not going to ban fracking. She said it 3 times. I don't know how you do this. How do you look in your I don't have kids of my own. I got 6 nieces and nephews. I'm supposed to look them in the eye and go, well, kids, lesser of two evils. So, do you want to die just because there's no more breathable air? Or do you want to die because climate collapse has collapsed society and now there's just roving gangs and you got to fight yourself in some post-apocalyptic nightmare? Lesser of two evils. We could fix it if we had real leadership. I'm all for grassroots, but reversing climate change is going to take a top-down solution. Yay, first female woman of color vice president. And if she becomes president, now a woman can sit there and take money from the oil lobbies and let us all choke to death and die because she has no soul, just like the men have done. So, such great progress. Nosediving the human race into extinction by the first woman of color, that's exciting. I mean, it's really exciting. It's like I was so excited when Gina Haspel became head of the CIA because I was like, now a woman can be in favor of torture because she's pro-torture. She used to watch people get tortured, fly around to CIA black sites. That's so exciting, man. Such great change. It's the diversity of the ruling class. I'm so pumped for when Joe Biden gets sworn in and then they start putting rainbow flags on all the drones that kill poor people in the Middle East. I can't, it's going to be such a monumentous moment. I'm like, and the United States military, the number one polluter in the world, which keeps getting budget increases thanks to a democratically controlled Congress and the soulless maggots in the Republican Party. The Democrats are soulless maggots, but their maggots are diverse. They're a diverse set of soulless maggots. See? Isn't it exciting? Permafrost thawing levels were 240% higher than historical levels. 240% higher. How many of these reports do we have to read before it's like, general strike, folks, shut it down. These two parties are evil. They're getting us killed. The oil companies, done. Get them out. Get them out. Higher than the historic levels in the ground sank 90 centimeters over the course of the study, which ran for 12 years from 2003 and 2016. For 12 years. So half of George W. Bush's presidency and all of Obama's. Obama, the hope and change guy. You remember Obama? Opened up the Arctic to drilling twice, put in more pipelines, let Standing Rock happen, lied about drinking Flint's water. Flint still has contaminated water, by the way. It's either year 2020. It still has contaminated water. Remember when the BP oil spill happened in the Gulf and he just said, I'll just take care. What? There should have been sweeping reform after that. Done, oil companies, you're done. That's what he could have done, but he didn't. There were obstructionist Republicans. No, he had control of the House and the Senate for a couple of years there. He didn't do anything. Because both of these parties don't give a shit because they're owned by the oil lobbies. They're owned by the military industrial complex. They're owned by the big pharmaceutical companies. But let's read another one of these studies and vote for the lesser two evils, you dipshits. When permafrost thaws, it releases carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases stored into the atmosphere. Thanks, Alyssa Milano. There, in turn, cause temperatures to rise and create a perpetual cycle where most permafrost melts. Man, hey, Graham, how come you didn't cheer in the streets when Biden was declared the winner? I went, oh, well, Trump's gone. That's good. And then this is who's going to be in charge.
Look, let me be clear also. I'm not banning fracking in Pennsylvania or anywhere else. And I'm going to protect Pennsylvania jobs, period. No matter how many times Donald Trump lies, he's never delivered on his promise for a big infrastructure plan. He told you in 17, I've got an infrastructure plan coming. And then 18, 19, and 20. He hadn't done a thing. It's right up there where they say he's going to protect pre-existing conditions.
You know what would give a lot of people jobs, Joe Biden? A Green New Deal. That's what you could have run on. That's a populist platform in the middle of a pandemic where we have record unemployment. We have people lining up in every city in America for miles, for blocks and miles, and for food because they don't have food. We don't have a new stimulus plan. We've gotten one $1,200 check and unemployment. Okay, but that ran out. Gee, a Green New Deal would answer the jobs problem. In the Green New Deal, people that are working in the fossil fuel industry, they don't lose their jobs. They're transitioned at the same salary from their job in fossil fuels to green jobs. They don't lose work. They don't lose money. They don't take a pay cut. They get the same job at the same minimum at the same wage. Free public college and universities to everybody. And what will be in all of these schools, all of this green energy will spend all this money to get all these young people, get all this brain power behind coming up with new. I've done videos on how algae is removing CO2 from the air, right? On a soil that removes it, methane gas, like a bacteria in the soil that removes methane gas. I've done all these stories of stuff that's in existence, technology and scientific research that's happened that just needs money to produce on a mass scale. Compostable plastics made from American farmers. We need to ban plastics. Oh, that's crazy. How do we ban plastics? It's easy. And then we put American farmers to work making plastics out of corn and potato, all this stuff that's already out there. Okay, great. The human race is going to die. He doesn't care because he's not going to be around to see it. A Green New Deal would give millions of Americans in some of the hardest hit economic areas, rural, middle of the country, where factories were closed down, open them back, put Americans to work at good union paying jobs, rather than bombing poor countries because they won't give us our oil. We could spend that money on building an infrastructure. He's not going to, Trump ran on, I'm going to build the infrastructure. And of course he didn't deliver because he's got to keep the war machine going. Biden's not going to, he's going to keep the war machine going. He was vice president when Obama dropped more bombs than Bush. You think he's going to stop bombing? Guess what? Iran, Venezuela, or Syria, we're going to have boots on the ground by the end of his first year. Thanks for watching the show, everybody. Support what we do because the corporate media is not going to do that. They're just not. 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 Show this video to your big Biden supporter friends, and they'll watch this video, and at the end of it, they'll go, "Yeah, but he's better than Trump." Okay, so we go extinct by 2045 rather than 2040. Got it. Awesome. Yeah, aren't you glad you let the Democratic Party screw over progressives? If you're a progressive and you want to have all your hopes and dreams suffocated, join the Democratic Party. We're running out of time. Thanks for watching the show, folks. I'm going to keep talking about this. While the centrists go back to brunch and watch the planet die, I'll keep talking about this. Shave your knuckles for justice. Boom. Graham needs some Ativan. No, I don't even know what Ativan is, and I don't take it. I don't do drugs, and I don't take any prescription unless I ultimately have to. Like the last time I took prescription drugs, I think I had bronchitis like 3 years ago. DC Punk, shave your knuckles for justice. My money is we have boots in Pakistan before 2022. Yeah, I guess add that to the short list of countries we'll probably invade. I go in this order: Iran, Syria, Venezuela, Pakistan. Likelihood. I think Iran is the one they really want. They really want that. And Syria. They want to get back into Syria for sure because they need that pipeline from Saudi Arabia through Syria to feed Western Europe. That's what they need. That's what Syria is all about. It's a pipeline. Yeah. Honestly, I hope none of us are right. I hope they don't invade anywhere. Personally, I don't want any of those countries to get bombed and have innocent people die. I don't want any of that to be correct, but knowing how the American empire works, and the new head of it was vice president when we set the Middle East on fire, and and Kamala loved putting people behind bars for smoking a plant and protected pedophile priests as a district attorney and let the banks off the hook as attorney general. That's what we got. Nick Sandoval making Gotham great again. Nick, I'm a sustainably major, and I love your environmental segments better than what I get in class. More people should think systematically like you do. Thank you, Nick. Thank you so much. So, Blanca Alvarado, who was in the super chat, and she comes on the show. She's in the chat a lot, and she's awesome. She's a teacher, a college professor, and she had me Zoom into her class and talk to them, which was really cool. So I know you're not a teacher, but show these videos to your classmates. We need more young people like you that are, first of all, thank you for being a sustainability major, for doing that. You could have gone finance, or I'm going to be a venture capitalist parasite, but first of all, good for you for wanting to learn about how to do this so that because your generation is like, I feel bad. I told you, I got nieces and nephews that are teenagers and in their early 20s, and I'm worried. Anyone I know in their 20s, I'm worried, or younger, I'm really worried. And that's why I keep talking about this. That's why I keep fighting about it. That's why I'm so enraged at these dumb liberals. Many of them are Gen Xers, my age group, that are like, "Oh, Graham, Obama was great." Oh, really? He could have passed all these laws to have made it impossible for Trump to do anything. If he would have passed all these laws, the Democrats would never lose. That's what FDR did. The last time you had an unbeatable Democrat was FDR, and he won 3 times, and they had to put term limits on him because he kept winning, because he just kept helping the people. I do not smoke weed. I am completely sober. I live in a place where multiple feet of snow is normal. Last year, I didn't see more than 2 inches on the ground at a time because it was mostly rain. Now the trees still have leaves going into December. I know. I'm worried for anybody under 40. Yeah, I agree with that. Ativan calms you right down, puts you to sleep. No, I'm not taking that shit. I would love to have Graham zoom into my class. Mitch, hit me up. I'll do that, brother. See if there's any super chats that I missed. Carlos El Lobo, the wolf. Shaving knuckles for justice. Yeah, 60 degrees in Chicago last week. Totally normal. Yeah, plants are budding in Chicago and they should be dormant. And fucking makes me so mad. CR, shave your knuckles for justice. Thank you for supporting the show. I really appreciate it. I'm adamantly against anyone over 70 serving in public office again. I believe you, Snork. I think that's a for real thing. 481 likes. I love it. All right, kids. What's up, Independent Left News over there on the Ciroc fan? Everybody at the Facebook. Hello, how are you? Why are you so worried about global warming? It happens naturally, numbnuts. Oh, so you're being a dick. You're insulting. So now you're blocked. And you're don't want to believe. Oh, God. Yeah. No, man, the Titanic's sinking. Keep dancing. You were insulting. Oh, I blocked Snork Y2K? Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I blocked the wrong guy. Oh, shit, Mitch. I'm so sorry. Fuck, how do I unblock somebody? How did that happen? Oh, man. How do I? Oh, I blocked the wrong guy. Mitch, Snork Y2K. This is the guy I wanted to block. Oh, I guess we'll go over to Mitch. I'm sorry. Fuck. I'm sorry, dude. Oh, you had to be insulting. You could just say a point that I don't agree. I don't think global. You could say that, but then you got insulting. So it's just like, You know what? Now we gotta take you down. You gotta learn the hard way. No reason to be rude. You wouldn't talk this way in a regular conversation. You're just doing it online. So now, there we go. And then in Facebook, I could say it was fake news. That's fucking fantastic. All right, what do I got to do here? I got to go back and find. Hold on, let me find Snork. There we go. I got to go into shit. How do I unblock in fucking YouTube? Oh, there we go. There we go. Hide. View deleted message. I think I unblocked it, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. Let's see. Snork Y2K back. Mitch, try to post something to make sure I didn't. Sorry, dude. He's unblocked. Okay. It happens. Well, fuck you. I'm blocking you now. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, dude. I literally just punched the wrong button. All right, good. We got that fixed. Well, that's good to know. Kate, as a reminder, I can't unblock someone through StreamYard. I have to go into YouTube to do that. So if I forget again, if I do this, make this again, mistake again, that's how we'll do it. All right. All right, let's do that segment again. Okay. Vegan gun misfire. Yeah, we had a vegan gun misfire. My vegan guns misfired. Sorry, it's okay. It happens. Vegan guns tend to misfire. Okay, where's that other segment? Okay. Couple of environmental ones today, kids. Kitty cat, kitty cat, kitty cat. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Political Vigilante. Well, the thing I like to talk about on the show is the environment. I've talked about this before. There's 5 floating islands of garbage in all of the 5 oceans on the planet. So now here they're like, oh, climate change is myth. It's cyclical. Okay, what do we do? Just let 5 islands of floating garbage happen? It's why we got to get rid of single-use plastics. And I'm going to show you a solution in here. There's compostable plastics and all this stuff. But I want to get into this because this was on Twitter today. For those keeping track, the Pacific Ocean plastic garbage patch is now over double the size of Texas. That's just one of the 5 garbage islands. It's twice the size of Texas. The state of Texas, twice that. Floating plastic garbage. Dems are GOP. Stained glass, single payer People's Party. Here's some of the responses. Maybe they can relocate Obama and Trump's Manson on it as a form of payback to the damage they did while in office. As a Swiftboat commander, I expect John Kerry will be out there post-haste with a crew of folks with nets to remedy this. Yeah, because John Kerry's in charge of the climate. So here's what John Kerry being in charge of this new climate thing is going to be. All right, we're going to be back in the climate, the Paris Accord. Any of the rollbacks Trump did, Biden's going to put them back in place. And then that'll be it. And the blue check Hollywood liberals will go, see, it's at least better than Trump. And I'll go, okay, great. And they'll stop. Biden will stop right there. And that's all you'll get to do with the Republican Senate, which the Democrats are happy about. They're happy the Senate's Republican because now they can say, oh, the Republicans blocked it. 5 islands of floating garbage. The Pacific one, twice the size of Texas. I mean, it is murdering marine life. And that's the floating, it's mostly plastic that hasn't like sunk down. Marine life ingests little pieces of plastic. You find any dead fish, seabird, marine mammal, open up their stomach, they're going to have plastic in there that's undigested. What happens? It sits in their stomach and it doesn't get digested, but then it tells their stomach tells their brain, oh, I'm full. So they stop eating. And a lot of times they starve to death because they got a belly full of plastic. The ice caps are melting. The permafrost, I did a video that the permafrost is going, they thought it was going to be Wasn't going to start really melting till 2090. Now it's happening now. That's why I don't have time for centrist Joe Biden's, oh, I'm not going to ban fracking. We need a middle ground on climate policy. That's what he said. That's what he said. No, we need drastic action. So there's groups out there doing this, and this is who we need to get behind, because the Democratic Party does not give a shit. And the Squad and Bernie and Tulsi, they're corralled and dead end, and they're either threatened or they're told to acquiesce, and that's what they do. That's why AOC calls Pelosi Mama Bear, and she literally said, AOC said, I'm not bothered by the fact that Joe Biden isn't going to ban fracking. She said that in an interview. So we have to circumvent them. We have to find solutions now, today. We can't wait for these dipshits and these two filthy, corrupt parties to do a goddamn thing. If AOC and the Squad were truly who they claim to be, they would leave the Democratic Party. They would leave it and join the People's Party. Nina Turner would do that. They would leave it. We're not going to save the planet with the Democratic Party. The Republicans don't give a shit. And neither the Democrats. But here's some solutions we should get behind. There are people working on this, and they need our help and assistance. The ocean cleanup. They basically clean up all this plastic out of there. There's two things we need to do. This is how cleaning up. And cleaning up is important, but we need a parallel plan. We can't recycle our way out of this because we're just making too much plastic. So first of all, on a personal level, I try to not use straws. I try not to use single-use plastic. It's hard because everything's got wrappers. I try not to. I bring my own bags to the grocery store. I now got these vegetable bags that are reusable, that are mesh, rather than the plastic ones. When you get produce, I read a thing, they use 1,500 plastic. One person uses 1,500 plastic bags a year. So I was like, let's try to stop that. So we got to stop using plastics as best we can. We got to petition lawmakers as best we can. And then we got to get involved in cleanup, because we can't recycle our way out of this. There's just too much. But I want to show you the oceancleanup.com. I want to go to their website real quick, because they're doing some cool stuff. I'm going to show you their site. So there it is, the largest cleanup in history. And they can see kind of how they're doing it. They have this, look at all that plastic they're pulling out of there. The largest cleanup in history. Look at all that they're getting out of there. It's huge. Is this the only thing? Do we need to do more than this? Absolutely. But I'm down. I'm all for any and all solutions, all functioning at the same time to do this, because that's what it's going to take. We developed advanced technologies to rid the oceans of plastic. Every year, millions of tons of plastic enter the oceans, of which the majority spills out from rivers. A portion of the plastic travels to ocean garbage patches, getting caught in a vortex of circulating currents. If no action is taken, the plastic will increasingly impact our ecosystems, health, and economies. We aim to clean up 90% of ocean plastic pollution. The Ocean Cleanup is a non-for-profit organization developing advanced technologies to rid the oceans of plastic. To achieve this objective, we have to work on a combination of closing the source, which is what I'm talking about. Closing the source means we got to just make less plastic and eliminate it eventually. Just get rid of it. And find plastics, and I'm going to show you some in a second, that are compostable, meaning they're plant-based, meaning you can put them in a compost bin and they degenerate and break down and go back into the soil and the ecosystem. A plastic bag sits for, you bury it and it'll be there for 100 years or whatever. Closing the source and cleaning up what is already accumulated in the ocean and doesn't go away by itself. So they're talking about two things: closing the source, right? Cleaning the ocean, intercepting the rivers. Since they say the ocean garbage islands are fed by the rivers, so we got to intercept the rivers. Again, the source is also going back to no more single-use plastics. The Ocean Cleanup is developing a passive cleanup method which uses the natural oceanic forces to rapidly and cost effectively clean up the plastic already in the oceans. With a full fleet of cleanup systems in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, we aim to clean up 50% of this plastic every 5 years. The Ocean Cleanup has developed the first scalable solution to efficiently intercept plastic in rivers before it reaches the oceans. By tracking 100 rivers around the world, we aim to halt 80% of plastic from entering the oceans in 5 years from rollout. And it goes into their own news. And what they do is the Ocean Cleanup sunglasses are now available. So like they're taking this plastic and then recycling it into products. Right. So when you do buy plastic products, which many are, try to find some that are made from recycled plastic. That helps the process. Join our mission. There's ways to join the team. There's places to get involved. oceancleanup.com. I will put this in the chat. But let's go back to a solution here. Another solution. This is a premium EcoClear flat heat seat seal bag. So this is basically just a plastic bag you put a cookie in. Let's see what it's made from. I know this is tight wording, but give your food products an attractive presentation while reducing your carbon footprint. The CHS57 Premium EcoClear flat heat seal bag measures 5 by 7 and is ideal for packing cookies, candy, snacks, blah, blah, blah. The material is 1 millimeter thick and is made from renewable polylactic acid derived from corn. See how the climate solutions help farmers? When I talk about Green New Deal, farmers are an integral part of it. These clear food packaging bags are certified compostable, offering a sustainable option for many food items and retail products. Imagine you use a plastic bag, you send your kids to lunch or whatever, use it a couple times, whatever, and then throw it in your compost heap. A couple weeks later, you put it in your garden. And then farmers grow corn. See, sustainable. A crimped bottom and back center wheel provide extra durability. Premium eco bags are clearer, stronger, and offer a high clarity display. Seal those eco bags with a standard heat sealer or attach a header card to enhance your brand. Food sale for direct contact with food. Well, there's a clear problem. Here are a bunch of solutions. I mean, yeah, I vote for, environmental policy and all that. Yeah, I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep voting for stuff and find politicians that are in favor of it. And that's why we need a real third party like the People's Party, and it needs to do coalitions with the Green Party. That's why I voted for Greens and Independents down ballot just to get these two parties out of there. I am against any politician that isn't for a drastic approach to reversing climate collapse. So that's why I didn't vote for Biden or Harris, because they looked into the camera at the debates and said, we're not going to ban fracking. But I'm not going to wait for these idiots in Washington or Congress or, read some tweets from the squad about how this or that or blah, blah, blah. They just got to let's just back this organization. Let's just get behind these folks. When I say vote with your dollars, that's what I'm talking about. You got to buy a pair of sunglasses, buy the ones that made from recycled plastic out of the ocean versus the one that's made from virgin plastic. Little stuff like that. It might seem like a small thing, but it's a big thing. That's why I say vote with your dollars. Every action you take counts. Every time I go to the beach, I'm a surfer, I pick up 3 pieces of plastic. Pick up 3. It's this surfer kid in LA, the beaches just south of LA, like Huntington Beach or one of those places. I saw it in a surfer magazine. The kid's probably in his 20s now. And like over 10 years ago, that was viewed as one of the 10 greatest ideas to help the environment. Anytime you go out, you go on a walk, you hike, pick up 3 pieces and pick up pieces of plastic. Pick them up, throw in the garbage. Right there. Because what does that do? That then puts them in garbage. So then they don't get into the rivers when it rains and filter out into the oceans. See how that helps? Stop buying single-use plastic. There's a book I just started reading called Fuck Plastic, and it gives you like 100 different ways to eliminate plastic in our daily lives. And some of it's like, man, that's tough. And I get it. Some of it's tough. It's hard. But we all start doing these little steps, it adds up. Rather than waiting for some progressive to ride in on their white horse and take over the White House, let's just do all this stuff now, today, every day. Make a little small change today. One little area, you get rid of single-use plastic in your life. Just one. Stop using plastic bottles. You get a reusable one that you fill up at the fountain or whatever, or your sink, whatever. Right there. Something like that. Every little step helps. We have more power than we think. We can affect change without waiting for the criminals in our two-party system here in this completely broken, fake banana republic, fake democracy. It's a fake democracy. It's not a fake banana republic. We are a banana. We're a failed state. So we have to take direct action. We got to figure it out ourselves. Thanks for watching the show. I'm going to talk about this. The big news companies don't, because they're paid. You're going to watch. They might talk about climate a little bit. Then they'll cut to an ad from Shell Oil or some bullshit like that. So they can't really go after the causes. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go after the causes and come up with solutions. Thanks for watching the show. Shave your knuckles for justice. Vegan guns, baby. Hello. All right, kids. That's our program. Andrea Rosario Gabori, what's up? Thank you for supporting the show, Andrea, not sure. Earthship Housing uses all the waste. Check out Mike Reynolds. Ooh, interesting. Good to know. You're going to need a bigger boat. Haha, that's a quote from Jaws. Thank you so much for a movie quote. Let me make sure I didn't miss any of the super chats, folks. We got them all. 508 likes. I love it. Vegan guns that sometimes misfire. Yes. All right. God, we've been going for 2.5 hours. Oh, I'm hungry.
I want to eat.
Let's sing a song, ladies and gentlemen, and saddle on out of here. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving week. Thank you to Graham for all the truth. Thank you for supporting what I do. If you folks weren't here supporting what I'm doing, I would have ended the show a long time ago, but you guys keep helping me grow, even though YouTube is stifling me. I got over 10,000 followers on Rockfin. Go to Rockfin, man. It's free to sign up. Go to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. I put all my videos that I put on YouTube, I put on Rockfin, and there's no ads. And then if you want premium content, it's $10 a month on Rockfin. And you get access to everyone's premium content. Mine, Convo Couch, Nico House, Ron Placone, Lee Camp is joining. Jimmy Dore's on there. Whitney Webb, Kim Iverson. Fantastic. Richard Medhurst. Jason Burmis, who's been on the show. Bunch of MMA people and wrestlers. Fantastic mix. Vegan Thanksgiving, absolutely. All right, what's the Rockfin is totally worth it. It's really cool. And on Monday nights, I took yesterday off, but every Monday, typically, I do a premium members exclusive live stream Mondays at 8:00 Pacific. It's Graham Elwood's Late Night Crypto Lounge on Mondays. I will go live again tomorrow, probably after Jimmy Dore again. And I'm going to go live Thanksgiving Day, kids. Have Thanksgiving with the vegan guns. All right, let's find a karaoke song. I had the time of my life. I don't know. I wanted to sing that song. And I owe it all to you. What should I sing? Somebody said Live in La Vida Loca as Shatner. Let's do it. I live in Earthship country, Taos, New Mexico. I have to teach in 7 hours. Oh, Snork, you got to teach in 7 hours? You're blocked. No, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. Sorry. I'll dance with you to that, Graham. You got it, Nicole. How dare you have to teach? Blocked. Sorry. Dude, smoke weed live. Never going to happen, but thank you. I love the show. I learned so much from Graham in the stream. I'm thankful for you all. Thank you, Kate. I'm thankful for you and everybody in the stream. I'm thankful for Kate. She's our moderator, does a great job. I'm thankful for Sammy, my producer. I don't think she ever watches the live stream, but she edits all the videos, so she sees it. I thank you to all of you. I've got a great little team of people helping me out. And I'm thankful for karaoke. Actually, let's do this. She's into superstitions, black cats, and voodoo dolls. I feel a premonition. That girl's gonna make me fall. She's into new sensations, new kicks in the candlelight. She's got a new addiction for every day and night. She'll make you take your clothes off and go dancing in the rain. She'll make you live her crazy life, but she'll take away your pain like a bullet to your brain. Spock, come on. Upside, inside out, she's living la vida loca. She'll push and pull you down, living la vida loca. Her lips are devil red and her skin's the color mocha. She'll wear you out, living la vida loca. Living la vida loca. She's living la vida loca. Uhura, open up a hailing frequency. Because I woke up in New York City in a funky, cheap hotel. She took my heart. She took my money. She took my communicator. She must have sleeped me a sleeping pill. She never drinks the water, makes you order French champagne and Romulan ale. Once you've had a taste of her, you'll never be the same. She'll make you go insane. All right. Upside, inside, beamed around, she's living La Vida Loca. She'll push and pull you down, living La Vida Loca. Her lips are devil red. Her skin is the color of the Centaurus Nebula. She'll wear you out, living La Vida Loca. Living La Vida Loca. Scotty, I need more power because she's living La Vida Loca. I'll give you some Viagra, Captain, but after that, she's gonna blow. She'll make you take your clothes off and go dancing in the rain. She'll make you live your crazy life, but she will take away your pain. Like a bullet to your brain. Come on, bones. Upside, inside, out, she's living La Vida Loca. She'll push and pull you down. She's living La Vida Loca. Her lips are devil red. Her skin is the color of milk. Plot a course because she's living La Vida Loca. Beat me down, she's living La Vida Loca.
cheese, living la vida loca. You Klingon bastard, you killed my son, but I'm still living la vida loca. Come on. Gotta la vida loca. Gotta la vida loca. Gotta la vida.
Like a bullet to the brain. Yeah, that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, everybody. California sober means you smoke weed and take psychedelics, but it's not so. No, I'm completely sober. Thank you, everybody, so much. Thank you, everybody who helped out in the super chat. We had 526 likes, which is fantastic. Thank you, everybody on the Facebook and on the Rockfin for joining our program today. I will go live again tomorrow night, probably around the same time after Jimmy goes live, because he usually goes live Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and then join us on Thanksgiving. I don't know what time I'll go live. Probably maybe 5 o'clock Pacific time Thursday. All right. Maybe no, 6 o'clock, 5:30 or 6 o'clock Pacific time Thursday. I don't know what the fuck. Who knows what I do? Thanks for the stream. Thank you all tomorrow. Thank you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching the stream, everybody. Thanks for supporting what I do. Thanks for voting with your dollars. You're all political vigilantes. Stay safe. Work together. Being a fuckstick in the chat doesn't help anybody. Debating's okay. Discussing is okay. Shave your knuckles for justice. Make Gotham great again. You're all political vigilantes. And live La Vida Loca. Boom.